What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Final Fantasy. So, a couple changes since last episode. I did realize that since we switched to the Titan subclass, we were going to be losing Deadly Embrace from Garuda, and that's no good, because that gives you a couple extra seconds on the half stagger. So we did end up going back. I reset most of my Titan points. I mastered Deadly Embrace. That's going to up the range for the pull and the stagger. Then, of course, I re-upgraded Gouge to get the stagger down there. We did keep Wind Up. Now, Wind Up has a 4-star damage rating, so I think that's going to be pretty good when something already is staggered. Of course, we're still going with Will of the Wisps, Heat Wave, Judgment Ball, and Lightning Rod. I think this is going to be the play. I will keep Wind Up and use that. Because we need something. I noticed that really all we have is Judgment Ball on the 4-star for damage. And then we have nothing else really. Everything else was more stagger based. So, of course, Wind Up is now in the lineup. I didn't want to keep using Titan's abilities because they are very cool. And we have 2 side quests to do before we visit Jill in the Infirmary. Don't mind helping the people. Darius, I don't think we've talked to Darius before.
A team of curse breakers has gone missing near Northreach.
Which team?
Coles. They were sent to liberate a carriage of bearers before they could be smuggled to market. They were moving in for their assault when the carriage was attacked by goblins. A cursebreaker managed to release a Stolas amid the confusion, but this was days ago. They should be back by now, but I've heard nothing from any of them. I can't help but worry that...
They know the work is dangerous, but I'm sure they're fine.
But what if I've got them all killed? Before they go out, I always remind them why we're doing this, what they escaped, and what we're freeing people from. But I never really thought how my words might affect them. What risks they might take because of the things I've said.
We will go make that a priority. Although it's a bad shower getting captured by goblins. Of all the things you'd expect men to get jumped from, and taken with, Goblin wouldn't have been on my list.
Intercept the slaver somewhere in the Dragon's Eyrie. I can't tell you much more than that, I'm afraid.
A slaver, say less.
If they were there, Torgal will track them down.
You had me at slaver, you should have led with that. Absolutely dead with no exceptions. All I need to hear is the word slaver. I'm on that shit like a bloodhound. Anybody who watches my videos knows that. Now, if anybody is curious what to expect once we're done with Final Fantasy, I did finally make a decision on that. I'm gonna get going on the Baldur's Gate 3 Let's Play, and alongside that I will probably be starting either Dragon Age 2 or the Mass Effect trilogy. And of course, anybody watching this, if you have a preference on Dragon Age 2 versus Mass Effect, be sure to let me know. I will take it into account. But Mass Effect is probably my favorite game in trilogy in existence, so it does deserve some love. While Dragon Age Origins is my favorite game, period, Mass Effect does the trilogy better, I think.
Cole, I'm glad you're in one piece.
Just about. Sid, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here?
Doris sent me to find you. She hasn't heard anything since the attack. She's been worried about you.
I sent a runner to the Dame in Northreach. The hideaway should have learned of our survival yesterday.
Well, I'm here now. And it looks like you freed the bearers.
Only some. The rest locked themselves in the slaver's carriage rather than fleeing when they had the chance. I want to help them, Sid. But we're barely in any state to protect those few we did save.
You made the right decision. Now where's the carriage?
The goblins may still be out there.
You have duties to attend to here. See to the injured. I'll handle the rest.
All right. Just follow the path to the south. You'll come across the carriage soon enough. And please, hurry. If the beastmen get to those bearers, the poor souls will be eaten alive.
I won't let that happen.
Thank you. And Sid, it's good to see you.
Good to
Don't
see
thank
you
me
too.
just yet.
When it comes to Dragon Age versus Mass Effect, I think Dragon Age has never really had an identity as a series. Every single game seems to be totally different to the last. Dragon Age 2 is the most similar to Dragon Age Origins, but when it comes to Dragon Age Inquisition and Veilguard, they're like totally different franchises almost at this point, so... Now I want to see what upheaval does to a staggered opponent. Pretty effective. I think that'll be a good combination. I was thinking all night about how I was going to combo those abilities once I realized that I won't be able to use Titan's main class for the parry. The pull is just too good at half stagger. I don't think I'll be able to sacrifice that.
Who are you? A friend. Are there any more survivors? Why didn't you flee with the others? If the goblins had made it through that door, you wouldn't have stood a chance.
Why should we run? One miserable death's no worse than another.
Perhaps. But we're here to give you another choice. Freedom, safety, the life you've been denied. Come with us. Let us protect you.
Sid, I couldn't just let you... You weren't too late then. Thank the gods.
This man risked his life to save yours. To give you a second chance.
Fine. Do with us what you will.
What we'll do with you is take you to safety. After that, it's up to you. Your lives are your own now.
You can leave the rest to us, Sid. We'll get everyone back to the hideaway.
Thank you.
Has seen any sense of self or self-ownership, decision-making? Like, you remember when we freed the bearers in Lost Wing? They didn't even understand that they could just ask for food when they were hungry. Seeing every sense of defiance and identity beaten out of people is the reason why I despise slavery so much, and why I'm very happy to kill them every time I run into them in any media I ever play. Speaking of the sense of identity, I'm not sure how I'm going to enjoy the other Final Fantasy games after having played this one, because from what I know of the other games, they are not this dark, not this kind of tone, but I will be giving them a chance. Of course, Mass Effect kept its identity through the entire trilogy, so that'll be fun.
Sid.
I did put that game back on the channel a while ago, but I just wasn't happy with the final product, so
arrived not long after you left.
I'll be remastering that Let's Play.
Waited a little longer.
Now that I'm better at this, I think I'll be able to do it some more justice.
Or maybe I wouldn't. I keep making the wrong decisions.
Cole and the others got home safely. You made exactly the right decision.
No, I was lucky. I've been tracking that slaver for months, and then I sent Cole and you after them, woefully unprepared. What kind of leader sends people into danger without considering all the risks? I should have urged greater caution, told Cole to be wary, to pull back at the first sign of trouble.
We swore the same oath as you, Doris.
It's good to see you safe and well, Cole. I'm sorry.
With all due respect, We Cursebreakers don't risk our lives because you commanded of us. We risk them because we believe in our cause. No one with doubts ever joins our ranks. The agony of removing the brand more than sees to that.
We all know how much bravery that takes.
Cole, I never doubted your courage. Only my ability to see it put to good use. Thank you for your faith in me. I'm not sure I deserve it.
I mean, it's good that she's questioning herself.
To risk death alongside the others than ask it of them. But I'm a curse breaker.
It's going to lead to good leadership as long as she doesn't doubt herself enough to hesitate her orders.
And I must trust that I'm the right one to play it.
Constantly trying to do better is a good thing.
In time.
There's no doubt you'd be a sycophant. Not fit to serve. We're a 305 now on renown, so I believe we should be able to get that necklace from Desiree. Not that we'll ever use it, but I want it. It's free, so I want it. It's kind of how this works if you haven't figured that out yet.
Today, Clive. Is everything we've received and everything promised?
Not long ago, I was accosted by footpads as I walked the gilded path, and would have perished alone in the desert had not the Cursebreakers come to my aid. I owe them my life. May this token serve them well. Traveling Terpsichorean. I have no idea if I pronounced that word correctly, but I assume that's what that says.
Come again. I may have more for you.
And it looks like we have to head into the infirmary for this. But we are going to be checking up on Jill.
Ah, Clive.
Talia. How's Jill?
Recovering, but she still needs her rest.
Of course. Take good care of her, won't you?
I'll do my best. Oh, Gav was looking for you. He said he had something to show you in the shelves.
The shelves. Oh, that's right. He went to ask Hippocrates about Torgal. He must have found something.
Indeed, the best boy himself. He pulled some magic out of his ass last episode. He's still casting that now going forward. Hopefully the curse doesn't affect him. That'd make me very sad.
You have the look of a man with the twins upon his shoulders, Rodrigue.
Talia has tasked me with removing a Cursebreaker's brand. But it's my first time and I don't think I can do it. I'm afraid of what happens if I fail. You survived, I know, but here as many die as recover. Is it really worth the risk?
You don't need me to answer that. You know full well what we're fighting for. I hope as much as you that one day bearers can walk among others as equals. But until that day, a brand is a burden, and we must lift that burden in order to go undetected. The operation may be dangerous, but it's also essential, and we undergo it willingly.
I know.
So there's more to the brand than I
I
thought.
still wish there was some
I thought that was just a tattoo, but it sounds like it's
Crikey,
magical in some way.
A lot helps no one, I suppose. Don't worry. I'll do what must be done.
I know you will.
Unfortunately, the first thing that needs doing is the preparation of a draft to dull the pain. Something I can't do with the Infirmary's ammonia supply so low. What few leaves we have would barely be enough for removing a splinter, let alone a brand.
Just tell me what you need.
You'll go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's somehow magically infused into the bearers, since it's life-threatening to remove.
By ammonia for easing pain.
I thought they were just taking it out with a scalpel, which of course would hurt, but it wouldn't be life-threatening, it's cosmetic.
Unfortunately for you, I do. Along the river near the village of Amber over in Rosaria. Just search for the bright blue blossoms.
I wonder. Do we have anything about this? We do not. We do have something on Torgal, though. Clive's faithful friend, who is fiercely protective of him and his allies. When Jill came close to death in the courtyard of Rosalith Castle, something awoke within him, transforming Torgal into something akin to an icon. He looks very cool. It's the best boy. Let's go get these flowers. I was hoping I could find something about removing brands in the... I would like to know how that's put on if it's so dangerous to take off. What's going on, Torgal?
The river was easy enough to find. Now for those herbs.
Riled Raptor. Let's make sure we pop this before we head in. Gotta get these hornets out the way first. Since none of them have stagger bars, they should do a ton of damage. Nice and easy out.
This is the only plant around here with blue flowers. I hope it's the right one.
I've been thinking a lot about this game while I've not been playing it. Like a lot of things about the world and the universe and recent events, like what's been going on with Kupka. And as I've been thinking about it more, the more I'm convinced that our mother has to be the one responsible for that. I genuinely think she's probably the player behind a lot of this stuff because she wants her new heir to be the kingpin, right? I mean, she married our father and sold him out to the emperor, knowingly getting Joshua and Clive killed, and Clive was just unfortunate enough to survive, so she sold him into slavery. Got knocked up with the emperor, and now she's put herself in a way bigger position. She's climbing the ladder by birth, essentially. It would make sense if she was behind all that.
I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding the ammonia.
And the more I think about that too, the more I actually feel really bad for Kupka, because while Kupka was madly in love with Benedicta, Benedicta was not madly in love with him. She was in, what, 3 different beds at once? And she even alluded to inviting Clive into her bed too, when she was talking about there's many warmth to be found on my side, or whatever she was talking about. If you remember, I said, put the suitcase away, honey, I'm not buying the bullshit. But, Kupka lost his hands and essentially went on a rampage for a woman that didn't really love him back. And I understand his position of wanting to avenge his love. He's not aware that we didn't chop her head off.
Only the usual.
Basically what I'm trying to say is justice for Kupka.
Oh, yes.
I know he's a bad guy, but
This is it. And more than I was expecting.
when things are well written, it's not so black and white as that.
I feel a thing. That is, unless I...
You'll do fine. Taya trusts you, which means I trust you. The hideaway would be lost without skilled physicers like yourself.
Thank you for the kind words. Truly.
Alas, something tells me we haven't seen the last of Kupka.
Sorry. I'm still terrified.
There's no way we don't fight Tyan at some point in this
The
game.
brand is more than just ink on flesh. It's a death sentence. Milk of the wyvern tail lurking just below the surface of the skin. One ill-conceived incision, a single slip, and the poison fouls the patient's blood.
That's what it is.
Failure means death, and even success means tremendous pain. Days of agony as the wound heals. I became a physiker to help people, not to kill them. I don't want to kill anyone.
Cursebreakers lead hard lives, and the operation is only the beginning. They toil in the shadows, risking life and limb. knowing their efforts will win them neither glory nor acclaim. And yet we have no shortage of volunteers.
So they
The day I
ink the
decided that I would
brand.
take Sid's name was the same day Taya took my brand.
They ink the brand with dragon poison.
I remember. It wasn't long after we came here. What little medicine Taya managed to salvage from the wreckage of the old place had been used up treating the wounded. She begged that your operation be delayed until a new supply of antalgics was found. Procedure was even more dangerous back then. Only a few souls had undertaken it. Doris, Cole, a handful of other curse breakers, and those who are no longer with us. Those who lost their lives in the process. It wasn't something to be done lightly.
No. But it was something I had to do, if I was to take Sid's name. He always led from the front, and never asked anyone to take a risk for his cause that he was unwilling to take himself, even if he knew that it might cost him his life.
Hold still, Clive! Hold still!
I knew there'd be pain. That I might not survive. And I was afraid. But I also knew that if I didn't overcome that fear, that pain, then I would never be able to call myself Sid.
I didn't know.
We all want our brands removed. But it's a decision each of us must make for ourselves, on our own terms. Rodriguez, I know your work isn't easy, but neither is going under the knife. Be a shoulder for your patients to lean on. Stay strong for them.
You sound like Taya. Do you know what she once told me? It's natural for a patient to feel like they're suffering in solitude. And it's a physicist's duty to see that they don't. Thank you for helping me remember that. I won't falter. Not again.
Good man. Well, that answers my question about wanting to know what the brand is about. Asking you shall receive. I'm guessing it sounds like they use dragon poison. So if anybody ever tries to tamper with it, it releases said dragon poison into the body and then you just die. No way to make sure slaves stay slaves, or at least stay branded as. More reasons to despise the Empire.
Jill looked white as a sheet when we met.
Let's go find out more about the good boy.
Clive, where have you been? I've been wanting to ask you something about Torgal. Where did you get him, like, in the first place?
My father brought him back from one of his expeditions into the Northern Territories. They were crossing a snowfield when they heard his cries, and seeing no sign of his pack, they took him in.
What do you reckon, Tomes?
It certainly adds weight to the theory. Clive, I believe that Torgal may be no mere hound, but a rare frostwolf, an animal native to the far northern reaches of Valisthea. In one of our oldest bestiaries, I found reference to a frostwolf who served as guardian to an ancient queen of the north. Such was his mastery over ether, he could cast magics on command. His name was Fenrir.
Fenrir the Frostwolf.
Now, the annals do not state it explicitly, but I have reason to believe this queen was a dominant of Shiva, a girl from the Northern Territories and her faithful hound. One awakens as the dominant of Shiva, and the other?
You're saying that Jill granted Torgal his powers?
What?
Just like Fenrir. People called him my hound, but Torgal and Jill were inseparable. He grew up as a faithful companion to the dominant of Shiva, and years later, his powers awakened, just when his master needed him the most.
I love this game.
You're right. If it weren't for Torgal blasting those bastards to Kingdom Come, Jill would have been for it.
Quite. Though Torgal's power is his own, his latent birthright as a Frostwolf. It had only to be unlocked.
Oh, get you, Torgal.
You're an even finer hound than we thought.
And regarding your original concern, you need not fear for Torgal's health. Why, the beast has the appetite of a behemoth. Just this very morn, I found him with his nose buried in my nuts.
There you are! I've been looking everywhere for you. Bernard's here. I need you to introduce us so we can get to work.
I shall be a moment.
So we have a Frostwolf. Handy with Ether. Sounds like we don't need to worry about him dealing with the curse, too. Now, what does the workshop have for me?
Isn't it brilliant?
It is.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. You and everyone else. But I promise I'll pay you back. I'm gonna work my fingers to the bone for you lot. Starting right now. Just you wait. I'll make wonders like this world's never seen.
Then I look forward to seeing them.
Quiet. I'm very curious what she'll be able to cook up for us.
Now that that's settled, I wonder if Vivian's made any progress tracking down Kupka.
Thanks for letting me do this, Clive. I'll pay you back, I promise.
I'm not allowed to check what she'll be making first.
Everything we need to begin work in earnest.
And work in earnest we shall.
Thanks for before, son. That was a good deed you did me. Only right I do you one in return. Though I did wonder if I'd bit off more than I could chew when Mid showed me her plans for the place. If she hadn't been there to tell me what to do, I wouldn't have known where to start.
Okay, so we gotta talk to Vivian about Kupka. And maybe we'll be meeting up with him sooner than I thought. That's gonna be a hell of a fight if we do fight Titan. That's what I wanted out of the first encounter. The first encounter was glorious, and I think the soundtrack to that fight is my favorite so far. But I was a little disappointed we didn't get to face off against Titan.
How goes the hunt for Kupka?
Largely in circles. We have myriad sightings of strange soldiers in unexpected places, but nothing definitive as yet. If only we knew for certain by what route he left Rosalith.
Well, keep at it. If anyone can piece this puzzle together, it's you. And I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
This is a dramatic pause. He's gonna try and figure it out right now.
What? Here?
Would that be a problem?
Do you know, Clive? I believe it a mercy that you didn't inherit your father's throne. Your poor people would surely live in fear of you.
You have nothing to worry about on that front. I won't be claiming his crown.
That is a relief.
Clive, have you got a minute? We, have a guest.
A guest?
trouble?
Good old uncle.
It's a pleasure, in hindsight. Uncle Byron? Clive, my boy! Tap a cask and stoke the ovens, for your favorite uncle is here!
What are you doing here? Isn't that gonna draw suspicions?
The Dalmekian government sues for peace. How shall we respond?
If they're willing to accept their fault in the matter, I see no reason to refuse them.
Still, we must insist on substantial reparations. Twinside stores are not as bottomless as reported.
Aye, and we have
Why
many
is she
more
sitting
mouths
in the
to
chair, not the Emperor?
We shall just have to have the Dalmecs empty their treasuries for us.
Oh, I didn't see him. My mistake.
Of course, none of this would have been possible without your timely intervention, Prince Olivier.
Indeed, I doubt any of us would have had the courage to trade words with the mighty Titan, nor less the wit to win him over.
The Empire owes you a great debt.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you, Your Highness.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Very good.
Now, let us come to the question of precisely when the Dalmecs will withdraw their troops.
Dion's fire could rid us of them in mere moments. The men of the Fist will not withdraw until a peace treaty is concluded. So let us keep the negotiations open, give them time to gather what gold and trinkets they can, and once they deliver that which we demand, what worth is a piece of parchment?
Your Radiance, were Prince Dion to take the field, the enemy would surely send their own dominant to meet him. And while His Highness would of course prevail, there would be heavy losses on both.
You need not fear Hugo Kupka. He is engaged on the Western Front. Even were the Dalmecs to send for him, he would not arrive in time. As much as I would enjoy witnessing a clash between Bahamut and Titan, it is not to be.
And what of your subjects, Your Radiance? If the fighting spread to the city proper, the people would bear the brunt of it.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on.
The Empire is my least favorite faction in this game. I want to shove that scepter so far up his ass.
Yes, sire.
Prepare for battle.
But sire...
Do not make me repeat myself. Return to your camp and await my orders.
If that is your wish, your Radiance, I shall depart at once.
I hate this woman so much.
May Gregor forgive you.
What do the astrologers augur?
The stars are in agreement, Your Radiance. The shadow of treachery hangs over Prince Dion.
So Annabella's tales were true.
Of course it's her tales.
You disappoint me, Dion.
I cannot wait to smoke that woman. I'm gonna enjoy that.
What on earth is Uncle Byron doing here?
Alrighty.
One way to find out.
We've been going for around 36 minutes now, so that is going to be a good place to wrap it up. We'll chit-chat to Uncle Byron next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, as always, there's a tip link in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Final Fantasy. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.